Okay, I think I'm good to go for real. No more tests. Just gotta stretch my back up. I have a completely different setup than I usually do because what I'm actually doing is I'm doing everything on real hardware. So, um, I have recently gotten all 6 of the Pokemon games from Gens 1 to 2. I also got them all from 3 and 4, discounting the GameCube games and any like side games and stuff. What I'm going to do right now is I am going to complete the decks fully with all 6 games, and I'm going to try to do it as legit as possible. But I'm inevitably going to have to cheat for Mew and Celebi, and by cheat, I mean glitch. So technically, you could still call it legit. It's just less legit. I'm gonna try to keep glitching to a minimum when I can. Those are the only 2 that are like absolutely required for a glitch. Technically, there's a few things like the Safari Zone, which would be super obnoxious if I don't use a few glitches to make that a lot easier. I'm gonna try not to resort to that, but in the worst case scenario, I mean, I have like Tauros and Kangaskhan I have to worry about. Chansey and Scyther and Pinsir, I don't really need to worry about because I could get them at the game corner. I also got lunch. So just might have to get Wendy's. So it's like probably like the most basic like fast food chain I would typically go to. I hope the mic isn't picking this up, but the GameCube is very noisy with its fan. I don't know if it's just my GameCube. I don't know how often GameCubes are known for this. Maybe I should pop it open and fix it sometime. I guess 2 last things. One, oh yeah, by the way, here's this like be right back screen. Just looks like that. Okay, so this right here that you're seeing, this thing my mouse is on the bottom left here. This is my own Pokemon display, and it just displays all of the stuff that I'm going to catch. So this doesn't really matter for this. So for example, if I go to Gen 1, it's got all of them here. This is the horizontal display. So we go to Gen 2 here. I laid it out so that it was like perfectly spaced. So it's basically just like that one online thing that a lot of people use. Okay, I'm just gonna click it black if it's been registered in some Pokedex. Red if I'm going to catch it at some point. I'm going to start with most likely a Gen 2 game. We'll get started on this one. It's got a few different features. Oh yeah, now you have to reset the whole console for some reason. Don't worry about it. I'm also going to be playing this on a GameCube controller, so it's not the best. They just don't have a proper D-pad, but I have cropped everything good, so you really just get the game. So here's my older file. Snickers. See, 251 in the deck, because that was the last time. We're hoping to do it again. Alright. No going back now. We're really in it for the long haul. I'm kind of feeling 7. Alright, let's do it. I hope it doesn't echo too much. So Crystal is the only one of the Gen 2 games where I can pick Girl, and I'm going to pick Girl, even if it's probably going to be a little more costly in time, and you're going to see why. Oh yeah, I'm also probably planning on doing the correct time in Crystal, but I'm going to offset Gold and Silver by like 8 hours ahead and 8 hours behind, just so I have one game for like a lot of different times of day. Like, so it's not too costly to just kind of shift around like that. All right, it is 3:01. I was originally going to do this a little after noon, so it took me a little while. Yeah, I did oversleep. You know what? I'm going to call everything a number. So this character is 6. I guess gold and silver will be 4 and 5, and the first like generation will be like 1, 2, and 3. This is riveting so far. Do Sunday. Is it daylight savings? No. No, I don't know how to. Please read me the instructions like I'm 5. Well, wait, we gotta get kicked. It's important. You know what's good about having all 3 games is that I don't need to reset ever. Like, if I just had 2... No, it'll help you, Elm. If I had only 2 games, I'd have to, like, pick a starter for one of them, then trade it to the other, then reset and pick the third one from that same game I just reset. But here, I could just pick all 3 different starters and it'll be all good. I guess I'll just pick Totodile. Totodile's the middle, right? Yeah. Okay, so for now, I'll pick Toto. It's always a good jingle. I like that one. Like, the Elgato does lag a little bit, so there is like a tiny bit of lag. I can't realistically play on this. There's like a second of lag. I hope it doesn't get too distracting. Like I try to time something to the music and it doesn't really sound great. You know, could I just say, why is daylight savings time a thing? Okay, first of all, it's not actually called daylight savings time. I was fucked up about this because I remember seeing a lot of like Mandela effect things, and one of them is that it's called daylight saving time. And I'm just thinking of like money, like with savings. So forgive me, but oh yeah, should probably get around to that. I really don't want to run into like a random shiny before I can even get the Pokeballs. I don't want to get too over leveled because I don't want to actually try catching stuff, and then when I weaken them, I just kill them. But like, you know, you do need to start getting those levels in. Also, yeah, the berry, don't really care. They're literally everywhere. I think every time you trade most Pokemon from Generation 1 to 2, they come in holding a berry. So, the only problem is there's no designated berry pouch, if I remember correctly. Let me check. We got items, balls, key items, TMs, yeah. If there were, I would collect a bunch of berries. Like, you know, they're pretty useful. It's just, I don't want to take up too much inventory space. I mean, at least I can, like, avoid the guide gent. I don't even know if I would still call that in this game. I mean, the consequence of that is he's just gonna, like, just be awkwardly standing there between, like, the battle with the rival and I. So, like, he's just not gonna acknowledge any of this, which is pretty funny. I'm not gonna do any kind of challenges during this run or anything like that. Like, really, I mean, completing the decks, even legitimately, or as legitimately as possible, is still a fucking challenge. So, I don't know, just keeping that in mind. I don't know why all the early gens insisted on, like, this fairly long stretch of you just not having anything, like no Pokeballs or anything for a little while. I could understand a very small tutorial, like Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum was pretty short, considering like it was just like one route you go through once. I guess Hoenn also has a pretty short one. It's not like you do have to go back and forth. Kantos is also pretty short. Okay, so I guess it's not really a long trip at all. This game is probably the longest trip without Pokeballs. I like how Professor Oak just sees you, and he's just like, yeah, you know, you seem pretty good. Here, fill out the Pokedex. My dream. You kind of have to wonder how expensive these things are. Like, well, you know what? I guess the idea is that he sees someone working for like a fellow professor, so he's like, you know, you seem like a dependable person. I feel really bad for Elm. Like, I think he just got completely shafted in his own region. Like Oak definitely takes the spotlight in terms of, like, professors here. Elm does nothing but just give you your starter, which, I mean, you sort of have to do that. Gives you the Master Ball, which, I mean, is probably the best thing. Okay, well, he also gives you the SS ticket. He doesn't show up for the Elite Four, like, you know, unlike some of the other professors in the game. Alright, old man, be a witness to this. I mean, I'm glad I locked him into picking probably the least good starter. Well, you know what? I don't think that's, like, really an unpopular opinion at all. You kind of feel bad. A lot of the, like, I think every starter in Johto just isn't the best. Even though I like some of, like, I like Typhlosion. Design-wise is really good. For Alligator, is very solid after the special physical split, because it has, like, Ice Fang was, like, such a good move to give it. Waterfall is really good now. Shadow Claw was awesome. But, I don't know. Kind of... I don't think he really sticks out as an especially good starter. And Meganium is just, again, design's pretty solid, just like, Meganium's not that interesting. Just kind of a bulky grass type, which isn't the best because grass isn't really great for being defensive. The rival's name doesn't really matter, I can just name it whatever the hell I want. Usually I like to have like a theme. Like sometimes I name them after like sweets, or one of them was like I was chaos and the rival was order, or something like that. I'm doing numbers, I can't really do that. Alright, the rival is going to be No Dex, because that is my biggest rival. No Dex, what the hell? No Dex. So we can essentially, basically start the game, the challenge. It's still not going to be that interesting as of yet. It's pretty uneventful. We can at least get started a bit. For Generation 2, I'm mainly going to focus on getting the lower evolution of Kanto Pokemon, or like I guess Gen 1 Pokemon, and obviously I need to get like all of them for Gen 2. Then for Kanto, I'll just evolve most of them there, except for like the starters and the fossils and stuff. I obviously need to like trade them here first. But like everything else, like for example, Slowbro, I guess I could catch here. I made a bad example. Like Raticate, I can just do that in Gen 1, and then just trade Eradicate over. But I'll already have like a Rattata in the Gen 2 game, so I'll be all good. And these fries are good. I just want to see if I can catch like a Pidgey as well. Perfect. Alright, so that is Sentret, Furt for later, and Pidgey, and the line for later. Trying to think of like what else is here. On this route, I think I'm done. Like I think there's really only two things at any one time of the day. Yeah, because a Sentret's here in the morning, then a Rattata is here at night, and if Pidgey's here in the day, then Hoot 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 is here at night. I think there's a low Jigglypuff chance on this route. I'll come back with more Pokeballs just in case. I'm trying to look for Geodude on the tracker. Oh, there it is. There we go. They just seem like a very awkward point in the decks, like order-wise. Oh yeah, Spearow here. Okay. Okay. We'll do that then. I kind of sleep on Spearow a bit, but like Spearow has pretty solid attack, I think. I'm starting to have my doubts that Jigglypuff is anything more than a 1% on this route. I can real quick just look it up. Okay, no. So I have actually caught everything here. Jigglypuff is only here in Gold and Silver. Not sure why, but whatever. I'm just gonna try doing it with one hand while I drink some iced tea in the other. Not easy. Not easy with the joystick. Okay. So, let me check on this route. I don't want to keep resorting to just, like, stopping and looking everything up. Inevitably, I will, have to, because there's just, like, way too much in, like, the game. And it's better to just get it all in one go. Okay, so there is a Weedle here. There's a 5% Weedle chance. Oh, there is a 5% Hoppip chance. There's actually so much on this route, which I really like. Regardless of the time of day, there's, like, so much to get here. There's some bugs. This is also where you get Ladybug, I think, in the morning. There's Hoot Hoot. There's Hollywag, which is like really good for like this early on in the game. Oh fuck! I dropped my fries. The only other thing I really want on this route is a Hoppip. That's a 5%. This game has screwed me over with 5% a lot. When I was originally doing this for the first time, there was a Magmar I was trying to catch in Burnt Tower. It's a 5% chance. I think it took, like, over a half hour. So, just hope that doesn't happen again. I'll get some Nestea. There we go. Well, I don't want to overlevel Totodile because I want to, transfer to other games. I could just breed it. It's just that breeding in this game especially takes a while. I'm gonna ponder this while I have some burger. Oh, it's all like smashed up. It sucks. Oh yeah, I should probably update this a little bit. That looks good. What else did I get? A Hoppip. Surprised I found that as quickly as I did. Let me put back on my glasses now. I find that eating with glasses is kind of annoying. I hope my audio is still good, because I'm leaning back a little more. Yeah, I guess just for now we'll work with Totodile. Hey, how's it going? I certainly have eaten without glasses. It usually works like I just kind of smash the food against my like cheek or something. Because like also without glasses, how are you gonna see your face? So like. In like the 1% chance you actually get your food, how are you gonna see your face? Hey, no, I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully you're doing pretty well. Right now, I'm just planning to get a couple stuff started. Because, I guess you can see down there, main goal is to, like, complete the Pokedex in Gen 1 and 2 in all 6 games. So that means I'm gonna have to do a lot of trading. Luckily, I have a setup. This is like real hardware, so I actually have a setup where I can do a lot of trading. So I wanted to start with some Gen 2 game, because like, so Gen 2 has a thing where you can trade backwards to Gen 1, but it requires you, getting to Ecruteak City's Pokemon Center, and then waiting a day. I don't think I'm going to get that far today. I don't want to have to trade, or to breed Pokemon too much. And currently Totodile's sitting, like, at level 7. Obviously, there's a good chance it'll evolve by the time I get to, like, let's say Goldenrod. Goldenrod's actually kind of an important thing on Sundays, because it'll actually help set up a Celebi glitch that I'm going to have to do later. Because I need TM27, which is only sold, or which is only given to people on Sundays. but I don't think that's gonna matter now because I still need to have high enough friendship for that to be important. I mean, the only reason why I'd want to like evolve it obviously is for like the better stats, and you know, you kind of need those. Okay, so there's a lot of NPCs in the game. They tell you that like a Pokemon swarm is going on. Like, oh, there's like a lot of Dunsparce now, and like the encounter rate bumps up to like 30% or something. So I'm not gonna bother waiting around for the 1%. Oh yeah. I just kind of arbitrarily decided on that, because when I write, oh my god. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Bellsprout, you know. Yeah, so I just kind of arbitrarily decided on red, because it actually takes like 2 right clicks to do like blue, which is the other color that's not considered caught yet. It'd be funny if like there was a Gen 2 game where literally everything is accessible except like the Caterpie line, the Weedle line, the Pidgey line, like just like some very, very obscure like or just like random common lines. Actually, I think I'm gonna catch 2 Bellsprouts so I can do one with the trade. Okay, so if you didn't know, with Gen 2, whether something is male or female is actually determined by the attack IV. So if the IV is like, it's like a random number between, I think it was 0 and 15. If the number is 7 or less, like the bottom half, then it's considered female, and if it's on the upper half, 8 to 15, it's considered male. I want one with higher attack. It's just very sexist, and it's not my fault. Speaking of being sexist, I'm now going to check which Bellsprout's male or female. I guess because they're special attackers, it doesn't matter all that much. They both are female. Okay. Alright. Here's the first quote-unquote trade. Doesn't count. I mean, it's an in-game trade, so... Yeah, so if I remember correctly, in Gen 3, they have a system, and I think like moving forward, so Gen 3 and onward, they have a system where there's a random, I think it's called a personality value, and it's somewhere between like 0 and 35565. I think that's the like power of 2, the power of 2 minus 1. Anyway, that determines everything about the Pokemon. It determines like gender, it determines the IVs, determines nature. It also determines some obscure stuff, like if Wurmple is going to evolve into Silcoon or Cascoon. I believe that's like also in there. So like the point is, there's so many values that it's able to like divide them pretty well and make everything equal chance, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna guess what it's holding because I vaguely remember, but I'm gonna make the guess. I think it's holding a hard stone. No, that's not a thing in this game. Fuck it, what's it holding? A bitter berry. Wow, that was way off. I was gonna say like a hard stone because that increases like rock type attacks, but like that, I think that started in Gen 3. Yeah. So I'm gonna be doing a combination of switching games, trading between a lot of games. In this one, I think after this first gym, I basically need to switch to gold and then to silver because I don't want Totodile like still being unevolved after this. So I think my general idea, like the general structure, is that yeah. So Gen 2. Obviously, it like Gen 2 needs all the Gen 2 stuff to like some combination of those games needs to like actually evolve that stuff. But by the like when it comes to the Gen 1 stuff, I think I'm mainly going to focus on evolving Gen 1 stuff within the Gen 1 games so that when they're fully evolved, I can then just trade it over. So I still have to, like, gain the lower evolutions in the Gen 2 games. Okay, so for example, I'm gonna probably get a Pidgeot in Gen 1 games, because it's already there, and, like, there's less Pokemon to work with Gen 1. So I might as well catch a Pidgey and a Pidgeotto in like, the Gen 2 games, and trade them up here. And then finally, when I, like, instead of, like, evolving all of those, or evolving, like, one of those in Gen 2, I'll just get Gen 1 to just trade a fully evolved Pidgeot over. I know, like, the way that they do it in Gen 3 is kind of cool too, but I feel like Gen 2 just has such, like, this nostalgic, like, bling, like that. That's just, like, really fun. I like it. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a pretty good idea. So there's actually, if you have a lot of money, there is a way to, like, get happiness up, like, super, super quick. So you need to get it to 220 or greater, and this way gets it up to 200 very quickly. So it's pretty much almost there. Then you can rely on, like, walking or leveling up to get the remaining, like, 20 happiness. It's pretty, like, that's pretty trivial compared to the rest. Actually, I might as well just say that right now. You just get a bunch of, like, X speeds or something, like any of the X items that are super cheap. So when you catch a Pokemon, I think it has a base happiness of 70. So you only need 130 of them. You just get 130 really fairly cheap items. They're not much more expensive than, like, a potion. You get, like, a shitload of those. Just get into a random battle and just spam the crap out of them. Even when it stops doing something because, like, the stages are high enough, it still raises their happiness until it gets to, like, 200. And then once it reaches 200, the game is like, okay, well, that would be a little too easy, so I'm not going to quite get you up there any further. But it's still really, really close. Oh yeah, no, the bitter roots for sure. Like, I think it even says in some of the item descriptions for those, like, your Pokemon, like, do not like it. Which actually, now that I think about it, that's kind of funny, because, like, some Pokemon in Gen 3, part of the contest stats is that some of them prefer bitter foods, but the bitter, like, all the bitter herbs will still decrease everyone's, like, friendship. Which is kind of interesting. Maybe the taste is just so bad that they get better just so they never have to encounter that again. They're just like, okay, no, stop. I'm back now. Oh, yeah, I never updated these. Okay. Oh, that was good. Okay, we got Gust. That's very useful for this tower. So now here's the dilemma. Whenever I'm in, like, the early game and I get a bit more money, and I was just, like, basically broke, and then I got a handful more from trainers, I'm never sure whether or not I should use them on stuff like potions, or at least a little bit of it on potions, or on Pokeballs, because you need a lot of Pokeballs. But, like, obviously you need a little bit of insurance, and it would just be kind of, like, inconvenient. So I got this, like, a while back, and the actual player itself is pretty easy to get. It's the disc that's hard to get, like the startup disc. So here's the guy with the Hoot Hoot in the Sprout Tower. I'm glad there's a bit of variety, but you know, just kind of seems out of place. Yeah, you know, like it's really. I always thought that was pretty cool. Like, they just had an escape rope right there, and they also made the rival use it. Like, some other characters in the game do sort of teleport away, or I guess they're intended to, like, fly away. But, like, this specific one, it actually has a text box saying you used an escape rope. It doesn't just, like, he doesn't just disappear. Yeah, exactly. They could have just like thrown him out of the, like, just, like, fade to black and he's gone. And I mean, it's also cool how later when it does show the characters just disappearing, obviously at that point you know how to use. There's a good chance you know how to use fly and escape rope and stuff, so the game doesn't waste your time. Just for the first time, it shows you exactly how to do the disappearing thing. Wait, did this guy not have a Hoot Hoot, or was I just not paying attention? You know, I feel like the HM problem. So I don't like how HMs take up move spaces, and like you can't delete them unless you're like at a move deleter. But the one thing that I definitely prefer over other gens is this feeling that like you and your Pokemon are the things. Damn it, I killed it. You and your Pokemon are the actual ones exploring. It's not like, you know, you have to rent a Charizard to like fly and shit. Like, it feels like you're the one doing it. But obviously the cumbersome like taking up a move slot part is annoying. But I think you could just fix it by like I think the Let's Go games did something like this. They basically let your partner use a move, but it's not like it's a field move, but it's not like an actual move in battle. Like oh, now they can just cut trees. Like you go up to a tree, they cut it. It's not the move cut. It's just they can cut trees now. So like that would fix everything. Like that, I think that would be the best possible option there. It doesn't require you to like sort of waste your slots on moves you can't use, or like moves that suck. But it still feels like you're the one exploring. Yeah, like I think it's super cool to like have this idea that like your Pokemon are like actually growing along with the game, and it doesn't just show that in battle, it shows that in the field as well. Let's see, I'm gonna check if Ghastly is available at this time of day. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within Sprout Tower. Okay, it's only available at night. The only thing I'm here for is this Rattata. I'm here for Ret.
So let's see, where's Ret? There's Ret.
So there is a way to reset the clock. I think it's technically available in all three Gen 2 games. It's a little easier in Gold, Silver, Crystal. But I don't think I'm going to manipulate the clock, except for changing between daylight savings time and not, because there is maybe I'll go over that in a second. I'm actually going to make each game display a different time, and I think I'm going to make them about 8 hours apart. So like, for example, right now Crystal is displaying the legit like time for me, so 4:14. Every time you go to your mom and like change daylight savings or turn it off, the game sort of thinks that a bunch of time has passed, and it actually anyone who's supposed to call you, like any of the NPCs that call you for like evolutionary stones or something, they get the memo like right away, and they trigger, and there's like a 50% chance they call you each time you do it. So you could just repeatedly spam daylight savings time, and then there's a decent chance that some NPC will like call you. I don't know when's the first time I'm going to swap games, or like how often I'm going to do it. For the early game, I do need to swap a lot, because again, I don't want my starter to overlevel. I could just cancel the evolution. That's not really the issue. It's more that I don't want to be underprepared for like later gyms. Like, really, the only issues are Pokemon that you can permanently miss, and that are and that can evolve, like both of them at the same time. So obviously starters you can permanently miss and evolve. But that's basically it. Like, all right. Oh, I probably should have done rage strats. Fuck it, I'm doing it. That's not good. It's not good. You survive another one. Just don't crit. Alright. Pretty good.
First time shot. Damn bots these days. I genuinely can't, like a timeout or something, right? Like, whatever, I don't care. I gave up. I gave up. I haven't given up. Wait. There it is. Just to get rid of the message, because it's annoying.
I'm good at Twitch. I know how things work. It took me like 7 years to block someone. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I have that set up. Like I don't. Yeah, that's not a command. You can just do that right away. Okay. Oh, okay. So actually, I just kind of like felt I felt like streaming because it's been so long, and actually, I had a complete Pokedex on all 6 games separately. Like I did the entirety of Gen 1 at some point just for fun, and then I decided, you know what, like, let's try it with Gen 2. And then at some point I'm like, hey, you know, this would actually be kind of an interesting thing to stream. It's just like one of my favorite Pokemon. So I feel like that's like less unpopular now than it was a couple years ago because of that one specific like ferret walking meme that everyone likes. Make a quick detour to the ruins of Alph because I need to get some unknowns. I don't remember if this really matters, but I'm gonna complete the puzzles here because I have nothing better to do. I also am using a joystick, so sorry if this looks very sloppy or slow or something. No, I'm not bothered. I mean, the exercise here, but the main thing is that the camera that doing stuff. Okay, okay, so this is something that I always get hung up on. The bottom 2 pieces are one of these 2. Which order do you think it's in? Do you think it's in this order where they're a little further apart from each other, so you can see it like that, or where the bottoms are, like, the little ridges are closer together? I don't remember. I'm going to say maybe further apart, but I don't know. Apart? Alright, we'll try apart. That actually looks right. That lines up with the claws. Okay, it was apart. They're just like super similar pieces. I wish I had the radio. I like the unknown sounds that like I put on the radio. Alright, looks like we're getting a J. Just use another rage, I guess. Oh, okay, great. Fuck you. So there's like a J here. I guess there's a G. What? Wait, it can flee? I didn't know unknowns can flee. I mean, I know some Gen 2 Pokemon can. I did not know Unknown was one of them. I don't know why they made fleeing Pokemon. I feel like that's like such a stupid idea. Because like I get the legendaries to some extent. They're kind of annoying, but like you can kind of work around them and even use the Master Ball if you really had to. But like, why does like random like mill tanks and shit like run? I think that's one of them that does. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few really weird ones. I think a Tangela can flee. A Magnemite can flee. So actually, that's why Kurt makes fast balls. Because so they're different from quick balls. Like quick balls are Gen 4. Fast balls in Gen 2, they're supposed to work better on Pokemon that can flee, but it's actually not programmed that correctly, so it only works on like a handful of them that can flee, and it's kind of weird. Maybe I'm misremembering Miltank running. Generation 2, let's see. These are all the Pokemon that can flee. So interesting, some of these Pokemon are programmed to be able to flee, but you can't find them in the wild. so they can't, like, so they would be unable to flee anyway. So the Pokemon that can flee that you can find in the wild are Magnemite, Grimer, Cubone, Tangela, Mr. Mime. Dratini, Dragonair, Quagsire, which I don't know where you find a fully evolved Quagsire. Unknown, Snubbull, Heracross, Teddiursa, Delibird, and Phanpy. And the ones that are still programmed to flee, but you can't find them in the wild, are Eevee, Porygon, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Togetic, and Umbreon. Not even Espeon, just Umbreon. I don't know why. But what's so weird is that, again, like the fastball, it was supposed to work on these Pokemon that have a chance of fleeing. And I think it was also meant to work on the legendaries, but because of the way it was programmed, it doesn't work better on the legendaries than any other Pokeball. And it works only on a select few Pokemon that can flee. I think it works better on Magnemite, I think Mr. Mime, maybe Tangela. Yo, that's Sinep, come on. That's my favorite Pokemon. You're dissing Sinep right there. I feel like that is both a legit rumor, or at least some variation on that, but that almost sounds like a Ligma joke. I don't know why. Wooper just always sounded like a Ligma. Yeah, like definitely Togepi sounds more reasonable. What about Let's Go Meryl? Because Meryl was like kind of like a heavily advertised thing. I guess it, you know, they don't evolve the same way, but also like Eevee and Pikachu didn't evolve the same way, so. I do remember there was this time when a bunch of Gen 2 stuff released. I wasn't born for it, but I heard about it online, that once, when Gen 2 stuff was being released, it was speculated that it was like an evolved form of like Raichu or something, and they were calling it Pikablue. We got an E-Cans, which is actually what the energy tanks are called in Japan in Mega Man. The E-Cans. Yeah, E-Cans. In fact, I've seen in a particular like romanization of it, like, so it's pronounced like E-Cans, and I think that's like the intention, but in some ways people have romanized it. They actually use double I's for the E sound, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I know that one you're totally going for a Ligma, so I'm not falling for that one. Shit, what does shiny Slugma look like? Is it like sort of like a dark blue, blackish sort of color? I honestly can't remember offhand. Also, I'm not going to talk to this guy here. Oh, white. Oh my god, okay. I'm not talking to this guy here. I think he has like 6 Magikarps or something. You know, I think he and Muck would be good friends. Fuck, this is the Magikarp. I played myself. This is the Magikarp guy. Actually, there's a Rocket Grunt later in this game. In the radio tower, he just has like 5 Rattatas. I don't even think Gen 5's story is that good. Like anything legit in Pokemon, like any legit Pokemon game story, that's not like a mystery dungeon game, I don't think has a good story. I just think that 5's is the least bad. There was one of them that I think the story, I mean, you could sort of classify the story as being a little edgy. It was a Gen 2 hack, actually. It was a very, very rare Gen 2 hack. It was very well done, though, from what I remember. The only problem with that hack is that it was never finished. It got pretty far, though. Like, it was, like, nearing the end game. But yeah, no, it was getting really interesting at the time. There was even a part where, they sort of artificially... And they even warned you about this. I know, I fucking love his face. It's fucking great. They even warned you about this in the game. They said if you fail this fight, the game is gonna like soft lock on a game over screen, which was like super different. And it did happen. It happened to me the first time. So they basically said just like save the game if you don't want that happening. you're basically gonna encounter a game over. I think the thing about that hack that like it still sticks with me a little bit. Like every like the little parts, and again just like the pacing was well done from what I remember. Maybe if I replay it now, I'll think differently. It's been years, but it was, yeah. Like as soon as you fail against the trainer, the battle, like the battle text box just says game over, and you can't click off of it. It literally just soft locks you there. Which again, like it was an interesting. It wasn't like, you know, something got mishandled and it crashed or something. It was like it was intentionally meant to be there. Yeah. So like one of the things about that hack that like stuck with me for all these years, other than that, is that like there was one part where you walk into a new route. Like, so you were just in a town, you walk into a new route, and this trainer, you know, just like a typical trainer, like approaches you, but right before the battle starts, like he still says like the opening dialogue and everything and approaches you, but right before the battle would have started, then like an earthquake happens nearby, and then like some other shit on that route starts happening, which I thought like that was like, that fucking shook my system. Like that was, I laughed so hard at that. Like, oh, it's kind of interesting. Like, it like so it would be like an overworld effect, yeah, and like a weather thing. I feel like that would seem very similar to Sandstorm, but like also if you also want to say that every Pokemon, regardless of type, gets hurt by it, except for, you know what, except for flying types. Flying types could actually work there. So now here's the question: would it hurt both Pokemon like a lot, or just about as much as like any weather effect? Like if it was just like an actual like full power earthquake, like basically every single turn being used on you, that would be fucking amazing, actually. Oh, that's a cool idea too. Like with or without the earthquake idea, like the idea that it already starts with the gravity so high and flying types don't really like work. That's just like a genuinely really cool idea. There is a move called Smackdown, which is like, it doesn't force all flying types, just the ones you hit. I think there is a specific one that like, I think it's a move starting in Gen 5. I don't remember what it's called. What if there was like the reverse? What if it was like a low gravity move? Why did I do that? What if it was like a low gravity move that basically made anything dodge like ground type attacks for a few turns? Gravity causes the field to undergo intense gravity, lasts 5 turns. The accuracy of all moves is multiplied by 5/3. Intense gravity causes all Pokemon in the field to become grounded. Grounded Pokemon lose their immunity to ground type moves due to their flying type. Okay, so Totodile is right on the cusp of hitting level 18. So I'd rather not that happen, but it's not like a super big deal. I'll just cancel out evolution for like one phase. But I'm gonna switch to Pidgey just to spread the experience a bit. Maybe there's like also a chance that on top of the earthquake damage, Ralph. But like, okay, so if you were not only doing the earthquake thing, then on top of that, maybe every turn on top of the earthquake damage, there was a chance that like debris from or there's stalagmites or something also fall on you. So like you basically get massively screwed over by earthquakes. Like obviously like that's kind of overkill in some cases, but I find it would still be kind of an interesting thing to do. Okay, so I definitely don't want to level up Totodile any more than this. So I am going to swap to... So asking you just like randomly between all the Gen 1 games and also Gold and Silver, which one do you feel like would be good to like switch to, just like right now? So let's do some yellow. some yellow. I find sometimes just putting them in a little tilted actually kind of works sometimes. I don't know why. Wait. Yes, sir. Did I save the game in Crystal? Did I fucking save the game in Crystal? Hold on. Okay, just to be safe, I'm going to just save real quick in yellow. Alright, I'm gonna call my rival no save, because that would be my ultimate rival right now. I did. Okay. Okay. We're all good. We're all good. So, okay, I shouldn't have doubted my ability to, like, chronically save the game repeatedly. I'm not going to count Pikachu as part of my total here. You can trade it, though, and then in another game you can evolve it, so it's not like it's a totally unevolvable Pikachu. It's just, I might as well just keep it in this game, and I'll just get another Pikachu in, like, Radiant Forest or something. Yeah, I guess I'll just hold it open for Gen 1. A little bit of an awkward, like, black space there. I don't really care. I gotta tell you, the Let's Go games were like, they're just like, oh, you know, like, here's your partner Pikachu, Eevee. It's like such like a magical moment kind of thing. Like, oh, you know, like it's so wonderful, the world of Pokemon. It's so, like, nice to, like, have a new partner and stuff. It's like, this game, your rival just fucking snags it from you. Old Pokemon had, like, just that little bit of an edge to it. That's what I really liked about the old Pokemon games. Like, someone could be a total jackass, and, like, that's part of the plot. It's not just they're a jackass and now they have to, like, you know, undo their wrong or something. Yeah, I know, like things actually fucking, like, are serious. Also, I'm shocked I lost that one. Yeah, like the cool trainers, I think Sabrina has a whip. Obviously the Rockets do, so that's not that surprising. But, like, even just the bad guys having it, I feel like newer Pokemon, they just, like, won't have it. They're like, okay, no, that's, like, a little too violent. Even in the anime, there was this one guy, AJ, in, like, really early parts of the anime. He had a whip. I think he, like, whipped his Sandshrew a lot. But he was, like, the whole thing about that was that Ash was like, oh my god, you're hurting your Sandshrew, like, you're abusing it, stop it. But, like, the Sandshrew actually, like, trained very hard. And, like, that, like, the whip was part of the training, and it didn't mind. Whips cause psychological damage and use a psychic type. So, you know what? That's a good point. That's a good point. So, just like I was saying about the X specials, how even if it doesn't have any effect, it still causes, like, your Pokemon to increase. In Gen 1, in Pokemon Yellow, there are a few benefits to having the Pikachu be high friendship, and Pikachu is the only Pokemon that has, like, a friendship stat in this game. So, like, already, normally a Pikachu is just, like, neutral at this point, so if you talk to him now, it's, like, kind of happy. This might be weird to say, this is one of the worst Rattata sprites I think I've ever seen. People always talk about how Yellow fixed some of the Gen 1 sprites. This is not one of them. This just looks so awkward. Like, I think it's, like, the way the colors are, like, it looks like one solid color, no dithering. Yeah, no, like, I can understand, in general, like, the third version, or, like, the updated versions, they have... Oh, you mean, like... I mean, okay, so I guess there's, like, some nuance to that, because Blue in Japan was actually the third version. So the originals were Red and Green, then Blue came out, which was basically an updated version. The thing is, though, Blue and Sapphire don't have better sprites. Like, they have the same sprites as Red and Ruby. But you are right about Silver, and that it's different from Gold. Whether or not the sprites are better, I have to, like, look at them, because I don't remember them that well. But yeah, so, like, I could definitely see Silver having the better sprites. Yellow has a handful of better sprites. It also has, like, a handful of really bad sprites. I think that, like, Ninetales in this game is, like, one of the best Ninetales sprites I've ever seen. It's really fucking good.
Like the colors are like really nice. Like it's not like eye-searing colors. It's actually like really nice looking. Yeah, so a lot of people have said that. I definitely agree. Though to be fair, some people have said like there are some like technical, not technical like problems with that, just more like there are some things that wouldn't make it as good. Maybe like things get a little blurry. I know Octopath Traveler was like one example people have said if they did like a half 2D, half 3D game. And some people are like, oh yeah, but like, you know, some of the environments like don't really fit in very well. If they're just gonna do a strictly 2D game, I would be on board. But I can also understand the argument of like having multiple camera angles to like see your Pokemon there. Yeah, no, like there's definitely so like I think there's a lot of reasons why 2D would be better. Like I didn't even necessarily think about the workload. But you know what? I don't have a particular affinity for Mankey or Primeape, like that line, but I can see it. It's a pretty cool type, or a pretty cool mon. It's kind of mean to say this, but I think fighting is like one of the most forgettable types. Like, it's not as like elementary as like water, fire, grass. It's not as weird as something like Psychic, you know? Yeah, no, like I don't think that fighting type Pokemon are like unmemorable. I just think that like the fighting as a type, like as a type from a logistics perspective, just isn't really super interesting. It has a decent, like it's the only thing good against normal, which is probably the most unique thing about it. For example, like Machamp, if it was like of just a very strong normal type, I feel like it wouldn't really, like it wouldn't seem that out of place. It would feel like kind of still makes sense. Or like if the fighting type did not exist and it was just a normal type, I could see it. Okay, so I was thinking about doing this fight. Oh, that was weird. I never saw that, like, the exclamation mark pop up like that. Okay. The silver lining to losing that first fight against a rival is if you lose that fight and you also lose this fight here, the rival gets a Vaporeon, which really helps with Pikachu. If you lose the first fight but win this fight, or I guess if you lose like one of the two fights, then he gets a Flareon, which is like pretty neutral. And if you win both fights, then he gets a Jolteon, which just with Pikachu is a little more annoying. So whether or not I lose this one, I don't care that much, because it would actually be convenient to lose. But like, I'm not gonna like throw the fight. Oh wow, even with all those sand attacks, it still hit. It's pretty nice.
He definitely would have won at least against the Pikachu. Like, the Mankey maybe could have taken out the Eevee, even if it doesn't have like fighting moves. But yeah, no, he definitely threw that for sure.
Not in Gen 1. In Gen 2 they do, not in Gen 1. So you gotta sort of keep track of it yourself. Gen 2 did so many quality of life improvements compared to Gen 1. Also, yeah, it's the one time where the old man actually fails the catching tutorial, which is kind of funny. Exactly like what I was saying about the colors. This Caterpie, it's not the most, like, bright as hell thing ever. But it also, the colors are just, like, made in such a way that it still looks awkward, right? Like, I kind of like using the border for a little bit of extra shading. Sometimes it can be... I've done a little bit of like pixel art, so I know sort of the idea of using the shading there could be kind of helpful right on the border. but like, it seems like it bleeds out of the border a lot more than it should. And also, the colors don't have that much contrast. So again, even though there are different shades of green, the Metapod doesn't look great either. But there's not much you can do with Metapod. Yeah, like, so the contrast doesn't make it look shaded. It looks almost like a solid color. Thunderwave is really good, just for catching stuff. Pikachu is definitely going to be pretty worthless against Brock, so I'm going to have to train up Mankey a little bit. You did not look at me. I looked at you. I turned you around. You don't get the right to claim that victory. I don't know why they do that. It's probably just a glitch, but like, it still feels like very emasculating. Like, no, you didn't see me, bro. I saw you. Don't try to take that one up like as your victory. Oh, do you do like food delivery, or do you mean like you order in? Hope that's going well and there's not too many like asshole customers. There's not one guy that asked for your Dr. Kelp drink when they never ordered it. Yeah, that kind of sucks too. Whoa, it knows tackle? Oh shit. Okay, the God Metapod. The Godapod. Also, yeah, I don't think not a single person in this forest has had a Weedle yet, which is insane to me. Like, I know there's one guy at the end. I think he definitely has a Weedle in this game as well. Like the level 9 Weedle that's hard to get through. I feel like there's some baseline level of like, that sucks for me, but someone's definitely should be within their right to not tip, you know? Like it's not like they're screaming in a restaurant or something and like messing up other people. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of like not being especially kind to someone. But like, I would never take someone's, like, I would never try to enforce the right for someone to be a little bit of an asshole, or at least like a little bit unkind, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think behavior should be policed to that level. Also, yeah, no, nobody had a Weedle. This guy didn't even have a Weedle. So, oh my god. Like, I don't think Weedle is in this game. I think Weedle is only in, like, red and blue. Yeah, like, why is that such an important version exclusive, you know? Like, I could so I understand some extent when you want to make a third version that has different types of version exclusives. And I think Crystal did it really, really good. Certain families in Gold and Silver were version exclusives, so Crystal did it where Crystal had both of the Gold and Silver exclusives, but did not have some other families that Gold and Silver did have. So I think Crystal did not have Ampharos, which was in both Gold and Silver, which I think is a fair trade, because, like, you know, at least Ampharos isn't, like, Centrate. It's not, like, so super common, you know? But, you know, like, I like the idea of version exclusives, like, when the series was, like, in its early gens. But I think by the time Generation, like, 5 or so came along, it's like, why make two versions anymore? I feel like the novelty of that, of trading and stuff, that kind of wore off a while ago. And at this point now you're just getting two almost complete games where there are still some things you can't get. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's not. The novelty has long since left. Like, I think I did not mean to do that. I'll just probably use Defense Curl. No, he didn't. I think that, like, again, originally it was kind of a cool idea, but they definitely don't need to anymore. so lucrative, and they're basically putting in very little effort. And like, you know, people have been talking about that a lot, but like, I mean, come on, it's true. Don't you crit me. And I mean, you know, like, they make spin-offs. They don't tend to make, like, dual versions of the same spin-off game or anything. Ooh, I'd rather not have done that. Okay. I'm going to switch to something to take the bide. Maybe they did. I don't really remember. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't actually played any of the Mystery Dungeon games. I don't know that much about them. But yeah, like, I feel like it's not the same extent as, like, typical, like, generation stuff. I am going to switch it to get out of this bind. Okay, so, like, I mean, to be fair, that's not the only games that do stuff like that. I still think it's a bit silly, but, like, I mean, Twilight Princess, for example, that was released... I think that was actually released on Wii first, and then they went back and made it for GameCube. I could be wrong about that, but I think that was what happened. Yeah. I played a little bit of Skyward Sword years ago. I got to maybe I don't remember, maybe the 3rd or 4th dungeon. I enjoyed my time okay. I'm not like a super big Zelda guy. Like, Majora's Mask and Ocarina are the two like big ones. Some of the 2D games I love, like Link's Awakening, but a lot of the 3D ones I haven't played much of. I did play through Twilight Princess though. I did that a stream several years ago. And yeah, I'll say, like, motion controls, they do kind of get a lot of shit, and there are some games that they're really bad with, or at the very least, like, games that you really didn't need them. Mario Galaxy, the spinning in Mario Galaxy, unnecessary, but it doesn't really detract that much from the game. You just, like, shake the remote. I'm gonna be honest, the ball thing is so overblown. It's, like, it's not hard. I'm gonna sound like an asshole because some people are like, oh, you're just good at it. Like, the ball's not hard at all. I haven't played, like, hey, look, there's a Weedle. I can't find you, sir. I can't get you. They got rid of all of the Weedles from the trainers in Viridian Forest, but then, like, I guess maybe not to confuse the player, but then they just put it here anyway. Like, I don't get it, man. And this guy even specifically says, I met you in Viridian Forest. So it's like, that might cue the player in to go look for it. But it's not there. That's so weird. That's so fucking weird. So I just want to point out, there's a few different jingles you can get from Professor Oak when he checks your Pokedex. So this is I'm guessing because I only have like 6, this is like the jingle for like the lowest completion possible. Oh wow, it just goes eh. Sound like one of those, like, conspiracy theorists? Like every time, what does it mean? Pokemon's sending a message. Alright, let's decipher it. They're just like, hey, like, you know, we just want to say, like, happy, like, Eevee Appreciation Day or something. And you're like, okay, this is a sign. Eevee is getting a new evolution. No. Look, I think that a Pokemon that evolves into like, what, 17, if you don't count normal, then 17 different types. It's cool. Like, it would be really cool. I'm not gonna doubt that. It's just at that point, in terms of marketability, they have so many, and they already have tons. Like evolving into 8 different things, including Eevee itself. So really 9 things are marketable right now. I feel like if you just throw all the types, then it's gonna be so, like, it's gonna lose some of that marketability if it's that many. Is that weird to say? Like, obviously, it's easy to think that, like, more equals better. I don't know. I'm just very adverse to older Pokemon getting an evolution, like a new evolution, this far into the franchise. Like, I know they did that with some Gen 1 Pokemon and Gen 2 and, like, in Sinnoh. But, like, I feel like that, you know, it wasn't that bad. It was only like a few generations ahead, and they wanted to, like, make them more relevant. A good way to remember which types Eevee were, or, like, I guess sort of you could tell which types were special or physical. Just think about what Eevee evolves into. Every single Eevee type would have been considered like a special attacking move before Gen 4. So like water, fire, electric, psychic, dark, like grass, ice. Fairy didn't exist, but it probably would have been a special type. The only special type that they didn't make an Eevee for is Dragon. So I could accept a Dragon type Eevee, but that's probably the last one I'd be willing to accept. That's kind of why I was thinking if that would be great as the last one. I would say whether or not they actually decide to do every type or just do like only the special types, Dragon being the last one is like actually perfect. Hey, so by the way, you know, thanks for sticking around for a little while. If you're still there, you know, just you know, nice to have a little bit of like talking points. Nice to like be able to talk for a bit. Sometimes it could be like a little empty here. Yeah, that happens too sometimes. How long do you think like the editing typically takes for? Well, okay, actually, I guess the first question is how long do you think the video is going to be? And next question, how long do you think the editing has taken or is taking? That's fair. Yeah, I mean, like, that's like, I think, like, typical, like editing kind of stuff. So this is unrelated to, like, the main video essay idea I was thinking of. Like, this one's more just, like, a summary thing. But there are these guys on YouTube. They've made a handful of lecture videos. Like the idea is that they get a bunch of friends together and they make this like sort of fake university lecture like thing where they essentially like summarize the plot of like a franchise or like a ridiculously long anime. Like one of them, he did it for like One Piece. I ended up watching that entire thing, and that was like the actual video was like pretty much 5 hours long. It was like a really fun watch because like the way he describes a lot of stuff and like sort of the way he presents it is really fun. The thing is, it needs to be something that like I know and I could like prepare a lot of material for. One of the videos was like summarizing the entirety of like Final Fantasy, like pretty much every game like one at a time. And I thought that was like a super fun video. I was thinking of doing that with something like Dragon Ball because I'm very familiar with the original. I know a fair bit about Z. I definitely like want to like watch it and like make notes. Though to be fair, I don't know that much about GT. I know the general plot. I'd have to watch it basically. I don't know. I feel like just as like a concept for a video idea, especially if I get like some friends together and just kind of like talk at them for a while, it would be kind of fun for us to just kind of like joke about and like, I don't know. No, actually, so I was not very into Final Fantasy either. The only ones I've actually played are the first 2, and I've heard a lot of good stuff about 6 and 7. And that's it. Like, that's literally it. Oh, actually, speaking of Mega Man, I think... So one of the guys that did those lectures on his own YouTube channel, or maybe it was a separate guy, I don't remember. But I think it was one of those guys. On his own YouTube channel, he made... It was more like a one-on-one. It wasn't, like, in front of friends. But he did, like, an 8-hour video on the entirety of, like, the Mega Man franchise. Like, going on to, like, the timeline, the release order of the games, and, like, all that stuff. And also, I just realized that Quick Attack missing, I think that was a Gen 1 miss. No, actually, in Gen 1, it's the only gen where this happens. So, there are some moves that are 100% accurate. In every other generation, they're coded to be 100% accurate until you lower accuracy. With some exceptions, like, again, accuracy lowering, or, like, if you're halfway through doing dig, so you're underground and it doesn't hit. Like, there's that kind of stuff. But in terms of, like, move hitting, 100% accurate moves should hit every single time. But in Generation 1, there is a 1 in 256 chance of missing. Every move has, like a random number is generated between 1 and 256 to determine... Sorry, 0 and 255, I think, whatever. To determine if the move is going to hit this turn. And they were supposed to do, like, if the number is, like, less than or equal to some value, and that value changes depending on the move. But they accidentally did strictly greater than. So if it was exactly equal to 255, then it's a miss. So it's a 1 in 256 chance. I think there's 5 Moonstones. So, and there's only 4 things in Gen 1 that evolve from it, so, like, you have more than enough to evolve everything. Oh yeah, so this is definitely a bit of a hint here, what you're seeing in the battle. But, do you know there is exactly 1 pair of types that are not very effective against each other? So, like, A is not very effective against B, and B is not very effective against A. Hey! Nice. Okay, it is... So, Bug is not very effective on Fighting, and Fighting is not very effective on Bug. It's, like, such an obscure combination. I'm kind of surprised that they have any kind of, like, relation to each other, you know? Like, you just kind of think they'd both be neutral or something. Oh, yeah, no, so Paris is... Oh, it is accessible in the middle and bottom floors. Okay, so it is still available on this floor. I'm gonna save the game. Oh, they removed this rocket. There was a rocket grunt, like, on this spot right here in red and blue. They probably got rid of it because of Jesse and James that you fight. So I guess they just want to do less rockets. Oh yeah, so here is the other Moonstone. Pretty obscure. Wow, okay, I found 2 Clefairies. That's interesting. I kind of want to try catching it. I kind of want to try catching a second Clefairy. Yo! The double Clefairy. Come on, Paris. No! A third Clefairy! Wait, no, maybe they're more common in yellow? Apparently in red and blue on this floor, there's a 6%. And in yellow, there's a 10%. I think it would be cool to see, like, an extra, like, Clefairy line thing, but I don't think it's, like, necessary. Oh my god, another Clefairy. Okay, so now that I have Karate Chop, how many fighting-type moves does Mankey have? Okay, so Scratch, obviously normal. Leer is obviously normal. Low Kick is a fighting move. Karate Chop in Generation 1 is not a fighting move. Yeah. Very, very bizarre. I mean, that's what I'm saying about fighting types. Like, you know, they're just normal to other people who can, like, actually put up a fight. Kind of weird that they just call them Rocket. I know that they're kind of limited with, like, the space they had, but, like, Rocket. I kind of like J and J. I didn't think about that. Just Jam. No, that's good, actually. I will keep that. I remember someone was talking about, like Meowth having a good yellow sprite. He looks like a crack addict or something. Like, it's definitely weirdly fucked up. They, none of the back sprites were ever updated in Gen 1. They were always the same across every game. I don't know why. I feel like they could have updated those, but they decided just to update the front sprites. No, I mean, look, I think a lot of back sprites in this game are very, very weird looking. Even the better ones still look kind of weird. I'm not sure what you see with Geodude. Like, it's hard to get, like, how you're interpreting the sprites. It's not, like, it doesn't look anything like Geodude, but it doesn't look that weird if you see the red and green sprites, I find. Alright, so that was a total Mount Moon sweep. We got everything we needed.
Okay. So, a little weird, but this is... Let me... I don't know how well you can see it. I'm just gonna expand it a bit. This is Geodude. It makes more sense when you look at the sprite this way. So let me just like get into a fight. I don't know, you can see like the lumpy head kind of thing. I think like the bumps on the right side are kind of like... No, I mean, look, it looks terrible. Like, it looks nothing like Geodude. I don't know who came up with this. To me, the back makes sense to me. I don't know. I guess I've just seen it for so long that, like, I know what it looks like.
Oh, that's weird. This was a Slowpoke. This has been she's had a Slowpoke for every other, like, game in the series. But now they decide to make it an Electrode. That's weird. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, if you didn't know what it was, I feel like you would somehow be more comfortable with, like, a dick pic at that point. Like, you'd be like, at least I can explain it. At least someone could explain what they were sending. Alright, so I want to get this rival fight out of the way. It's probably one of the most difficult rival fights in the series because of, like, the level you're at. I disagree, but I think it's pretty cool that it's very different. Oh, no, sorry, I thought you meant the red and green. Yeah, no, the Geodude in this game is really cool. In other games, he looks like a rock with arms, unlike what he's really supposed to look like. Next time I see Eevee, but I think by next time it would be in the Pokemon Tower, so, like, not counting the SSN. It will be a Flareon. Yeah, honestly, sometimes what I do actually is I fight all the gym trainers except Misty, then do a bit more grinding, then come back to beat Misty. By the way, I think in the newer games they replaced Pikachu's, like, you know, like, old-timey cry with, like, the voice actress doing it. But, like, nah, man, it feels so out of place compared to the rest. I like the old cry. Like, I feel like save the voice actress for, like, a cutscene or for, like, the anime, you know? Actually, speaking of the anime, I've heard that in Japan anyway, the new anime where they, you know where they got rid of Ash, right? The new one's not doing the best. It's not. I don't think it's horrible. It just isn't doing very well financially. So the controller I have isn't like a legit one. It's like sort of like a third-party replica controller. It's not really that bad, honestly, but I noticed that the the joystick is like bending down very slightly in one direction, and I think that's new. It's possible maybe I dropped it once in a weird way. Might be about time to you know, get a new one. I mean, I have a few others. I honestly just use this one because I don't want to use the better ones. Okay, so I'm curious whenever something has like a lot of like a good rating but not many reviews. This thing has about like 1,600 reviews and it has like 4.4 stars. I don't know. What do you think? Does it sound? Do you think it sounds like it could be okay? Oh, sorry. So, I'm looking into, like, getting another set of, like, GameCube controllers, because this one's, like, starting to show its age. I have no problems with it being a third-party one. But, as long as it's, like, fine feeling. So I'm looking up on Amazon, and I see this review. It actually has 1,600 reviews, which is usually a good sign instead of something that like is 5 stars but like 2 people have reviewed it. And it has like 4.4 stars. So I don't know, do you think it would be kind of a decent idea to try this one out? I mean, I don't use specifically the GameCube that often, but I do use it for Smash sometimes. And I know it's not quite as good as, like, an actual legit controller for Smash, but, like, it's fine enough for me. I don't care all that much. Yeah, Mad Catz, I heard, was, like, I never experienced any Mad Cat products, and I'm so glad I didn't. Because, like, holy shit, I've heard horror stories about it. Bro, why can't we join Team Rocket? This guy's literally asking me, and the game just says, no, you have to, it's canon that you say no. Okay, so here's the Charmander guy.
I definitely got the Bulbasaur from earlier. Got the Charmander. I think that's it.
So far? Nice. That is an okay sprite for Bellsprout. I've seen better. I've seen worse. I think what's a little weird to me is like the mouth shape. Something about it just looks a little off. Like, I don't know. I mean, that being said, I'm not gonna, you know, you can diss Bellsprout in this house. You can't diss Oddish though. Actually, this is another good example of like a sprite where like the solid color kind of makes it look not that good. Like the body shape is okay for Machop. Maybe the left arm on the end kind of looks a little weird from this perspective, but like it's fine. But like the fact that it's just a solid like goldish gray color just looks really weird. Yeah, a little bit. I think like the yeah, they're a little too defined. Like Machop has like more realistic muscle proportions normally, but this one just makes it like very, very like bumpy. I remember I saw a video recently, it was a few years ago. There was like a guy who was like basically showing his girlfriend Pokemon, and like they were sort of playing it together, and like as soon as they got to the SSN, well, okay, not as soon as, but like during the SSN, the girlfriend was like so pissed off. She was like, can this just like end already? They play the Johto games later, and as soon as they brought up that they were going on like the SS Aqua, she's like, no, not another one. She also just like had a thing against birds, not like from the game, just like I guess she just doesn't like birds in general. So when she found out that like the legendary Pokemon in Gen 1 were birds, she's just like, oh my god. Actually, I think she specifically went out of her way to find all of the Gen 1 birds just to faint them and not catch them, which is like honestly very good dedication to the bit. You know, I'm just thinking like a logistics question. Okay, do you think that the time between start of the like booting up the game and beating the 4th gym is longer or shorter than starting from after the 4th gym up to beating the game? So like about half and half. Do you think that the first half of the game is longer or the second half of the game is longer? Because you can make a good argument for both. Yeah, I think second half, but it's pretty close. I would say it's fairly close because again, the first half you don't have many resources to work with. You have to go through like a lot of the same stuff in the game. There's not many options with Pokemon to work with. But with the second half, you have so much more at your disposal that like you can probably steamroll through a few things if you make some good choices. I guess with Gen 1, as soon as you beat like the first 2 gyms, I guess after Surge, right? So like I guess the 3rd gym, you go through Rock Tunnel, and then like pretty much most of the rest of the map is open to you. So, in theory, you could delay doing your 4th gym as far as possible until you just absolutely can't anymore. And then that would make the second half much faster. Like, you could do the Pokemon Tower before the 4th gym. You can do so that includes the Rocket Hideout under the game corner, then the Pokemon Tower, then Silphco, and battle a lot of trainers all the way down to Fuchsia, and as soon as you can't do anything anymore, then you do the 4th gym, and like basically steamroll through the rest of the gyms. No, the cutscene just plays like normal if Pikachu's not there. I guess it would be faster to just like box Pikachu or put him in a party, or put him like, you could either feint him or put him in a box if you were doing like a speed run, I guess. But I don't know. I got time to kill. I would assume that it does, but I don't know, because like I figure that doing Misty. No, okay, no, I don't know. I assume that it would box Pikachu for some of the early game cutscenes, and it probably isn't using Pikachu for like the bulk of the game, because like, you know, there's definitely stronger stuff out there, but I don't actually know what the speedrun of Yellow does. I don't think I've actually watched a Yellow speedrun before. Oh yeah, so by the way, this is the Staryu sprite. The colors look dumb, but the pose looks so much dumber. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Like, I don't know who looked at that and said, yes, this is what Staryu represents. It's like, oh, it's a starfish, so that's what starfish do. I guess I'll just make it look like the most basic bitch ever. I get it, but it's not a basic bitch. It's a Staryu. And then Starmie is just like the same thing, but like at an even weirder perspective. But otherwise, it looks like they're doing the exact same idea. Just throw them on the floor. Oh god, this sucks. Well, that X defense is not going to help a critical hit. That did nothing. That did, like, fuck all. Ah, dude, I definitely wiped to Misty. Okay. I usually take on... Okay, yeah, okay, you know what? Fuck you, that's a fair point. Fuck you, that's fair. Alright, let's see. I guess I could just continue to Vermilion for a little bit. I'm gonna pee. I don't know why I have to fight like this innocent bystander. Like he's not doing anything. He's just minding his own business. Yeah, it's really like it's really generic. I think Generation 2 had a little more variety in the Pokemon. I think there was one guy. He was actually a scientist, but he was one of the Team Rocket guys. He had, like, a Porygon. And a couple of them had stuff like Electrode, Magnemite, even in the first gen. So, like, if they spread those out a lot more, that would be super interesting. There's Jigglypuff. Getting a lot of stuff first try, which is making me very nervous that, like, my luck is gonna run out by when I actually have to deal with, like, the really hard stuff. Is there a thing, like, right here? Yeah. You know, it's kind of interesting. There's actually, like... There's some instances in later games where, like... I think on some place on the Sevi Islands in the remakes, there's a thing where, like, after a certain amount of steps you take, you can go back there and there's a decent chance that you'll find something new hidden in the sand. And, like, you could just keep, like, repeatedly doing those and get new stuff. Because I think, like, they said, like, oh, you know, a lot of, like, stuff just, like, washes up on shore sometimes. So, like, you know, get it while it's here. Remember, this guy can be kind of hard to get through. It's funny, because he's like the last obstacle before Vermilion. This is the wall. The Raticate. The Vermilion City wall. We got him. Got him with a low kick. Yeah, here's a random question. You see the thing on the counter right in front of Nurse Joy? Is that a Pokeball, or do you think that's like a bell? Like, you know, when you like ring the bell for service? My bet is bell, but I have no idea. The only reason I'm suspecting it might not be a bell is like, why is it so dark on the top? Like, I guess they're trying to like make shading for like the little top dinger part of the bell, but it looks so dark. Wait, do you think it's maybe like the Officer Jenny here? Could be. Yeah, there we go. Oh. She doesn't think I'm a good trainer. Hold on. Oh, okay, so it is after receiving the Thunder Badge. Okay, that's interesting. I would have thought by a good trainer, she meant like a nice, like non-abusive trainer, because it says to set it straight. I don't know. You know, it's gonna be like one of the. You ever seen like those little clips from that show? I think it's called Scared Straight, where it's like a bunch of like delinquents, like teenagers are sent to like a prison, and so they can like sort of get really scared by all these like people just because they're like fucking scary individuals, and like I don't know. It was a really weird show. Can Pidgey just fucking wake up? Like on top of the incredibly long sleep, it still takes a turn to wake up in this game. So, oh my god, this fucking Poliwag. What is wrong with it? You know, I mean, that's always kind of interesting. Like, whenever like if someone's doing like a reality show where like part of the premise is like, you know, you gotta scare these people or like do something that'll get them like kind of upset. But like if they realize, well, you know, like if they say, well, actually, I know you can't legally, I know there's only a certain amount you're able to do before, like, you know, someone would have to call someone in. Once they start to realize that, I feel like, you know, that kid's gone. Like, that kid's not relevant anymore for the rest of the show. They've checked out. He is legally allowed to crime. You know, I remember seeing this, like, one clip. It was, this guy was tripping on some ice, and, like, the way he was tripping, he was, like, running just so his feet wouldn't slip, and he kept running for, like, I think, like, 30 seconds. Like, it was a long fall, and he did end up falling at the end, but everyone in the comments were like, okay, nature should have been like, you worked hard for that, bro. You get this one. Just like the way of making up. It's like, okay, yeah, man. Like, it's okay. You get Frostwalker boots while you're at it. Alright, we got a Pidgeotto. Nice. First tile drowsy. Yeah! Nice. I don't want to wipe to drowsy. Can we maybe catch it? Yeah! Like, for Gen 1, I don't want to use glitches when I don't have to, but, like, worst case scenario, I could always, like, use Missing No to, like, glitch in rare, like, extra rare candies. I don't feel like I want to do that. I mean, look, I'd say I prefer doing it legit, because I did it legit before. Like, that being said, I don't necessarily recommend it. It's just kind of like a weird gray area, because, like, it's still legit. I'm still, you know, I'm not hacking anything. It's just a glitch. And I have to do a glitch anyway, because, like, I have to get Mew. And there's really no other option. Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just sort of, like, I'm, like, justifying it to myself. Machop is, like, really strong at this point in the game. Has anyone ever noticed this? Like, Machop actually is pretty, like, kind of a bit of a challenge. I think I'm going to complete the SSN. And then what I'm going to do is just play all the other files until I get the Pokedex, or until I get, like, Pokeballs to use. And I think that'll be good for the first, for this first stream. I have, like, a huge collection of plushes, which was already pretty big before I really did much Pokemon plush collecting. And then, you know, then that started to, like, exponentially grow. I am wondering, does Pikachu learn Thunderbolt naturally in this gen, or do you need the TM for it? Oh, okay. He definitely might. In Red and Blue, he never learns Thunderbolt. In Yellow, he learns it at 26, which actually is really close. So, yeah, never learned it in Red and Blue. It's kind of silly. They have very bizarre movesets before Yellow. And I think Yellow didn't help that much either. Like, some things just have terrible movesets regardless. I don't think Rhydon ever learns, like, Earthquake, for example. I would think that at a high enough level, he should. But I don't think it does. Maybe why should he? He's Rhydon. He's like the OG Pokemon, basically. Shut up, Pikachu. Okay, Rhydon learns nothing but normal moves. You don't think that that's a little weird? You don't think that it doesn't learn a single non-normal move? Like, I get it, it's a Rhino, but like, you gotta sort of take advantage of the type just a little. Okay, I mean that's true. Horndrill's there. Horndrill's quite good in this gen, for, you know, underselling that a little bit. You know, I remember this one meme. This guy was like talking about just how much Bruno sucks, and he put up it was a picture of what was it, fucking like, what's his name, Karl Marx, and it was like, the quote was like, "In a world of primates and polyraths, we don't fear a man who uses 2 Onyxes on his team." It's pretty accurate. It only seems kind of bad because, like, or it seems kind of decent because when Brock uses it, you know, it's really early in the game, so obviously it's fairly strong for that point, and then it drops off. Steelix is interesting because its defense is so good that you could argue that it sort of counterbalances other poor stats. Okay, I thought this was a lot worse, but I was looking up Jumpluff's learn set. It actually, well, okay, it's weird because it actually does learn a lot of grass moves, but only a single one of those grass moves is an attacking move. So all the grass moves it can learn is, let's see, Synthesis, Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, Leech Seed, Cotton Spore, and Mega Drain. So Mega Drain, you get at level, what is that, 44. So until then, it only knows some, like, non-damaging moves, but also, like, let's see, Tackle, Tail Whip, Splash, if like at a very low level, Poison Powder, like, that's all it gets. It's really bad. Yeah, you know, that's always something that's like, the logic of what you've seen is very silly. Not only that, but like, you literally look at all the information about the starter in Gen 1. Like, it literally says, like, oh, you know, this is Charmander is the whatever type Pokemon. They give you all these choices, tell you everything about it as if you caught it, and then it's like, oh, well, you've never seen it before, though. I'm like, what? It was literally right in front of me. I just decided not to pick it. That is not how this works. Also, I'd like to point out that Pidgeotto only knows Quick Attack, Gust, and Whirlwind. Whirlwind, in this generation, just like Roar you saw there, it does not work on trainer Pokemon. It only works on scaring away wild mons, I think. Oh yeah, did I, oh yeah, all this time I never marked down Drowsy. I think he sends his Sandshrew out first. So I should probably, like, I think Mankey out first is pretty good. No, it was a Spearow. Okay. Well, that sucks. Actually, Drowsy is a pretty high level for this point, you know? Not necessarily saying it could take the Spearow, but... no, it can, actually. If it doesn't die to Fury Attack, then it's good. It's good, man. Alright, Drowsy. I underestimated the strength of this level 19 Drowsy that I just randomly caught for the Pokedex. Damn, okay. Okay. did pretty well for just a random thing I caught. So I believe next time I see the Eevee, it'll be evolved. Definitely for sure by Syl. I'm not sure about the Pokemon Tower. I have to decide who gets to carry the burden of Cut. I don't know why, I just love how they play like the surfing music here. Oh no, trust me, you could still glitch into this area like much later in the game. There are ways. I'll get all the HM so I can like use strength under the to move the truck. Maybe cut to like slash the tires. I think that was like one of the rumors someone said. Flash to turn the car on. It's a solar powered car, so Flash works on it. I feel like we also have to drown the car, so we have to make water fall on it. I don't know why. I just find like this like over explanation of just like this random truck to be like one of the funniest things ever for some reason. Yeah. Oh shit, no, yeah, you're right. I was gonna say I'll do her after Surge, but no, I can't. No, you can't, cause Misty lets you use Cut, and there's a tree in front of Surge's gym. That's actually something that I would not be thinking of like normally. Cubone for Machoke. Wait, hold up. This girl gives you a Machoke. So, I think that means that evolves. Because, like, she'll trade you a Machoke, and then it evolves from evolution. I think I remember reading this. Yeah, this girl just gives you a free trade evolution. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, so after you beat the Elite Four and you respawn back to your house, if your Pokemon were nearly dead from the Elite Four, you're still nearly dead. Like you don't get healed after watching the credits and respawning back at Pallet Town. Yeah, that fucking haunt. You know that there was like an entire subreddit. I think the girl's name was like I don't remember what Mindy, and there's an entire subreddit like saying like fuck Mindy or whatever her name was. Oh shit. Alright, let me get the bike on here. Okay, so I am probably... That's gonna be it for Yellow. I feel like at that point I'll just pick that up next time. So yeah, I'm just going to play up to getting Pokeballs in each of the other games. Might I jiggle this game pack a little bit? Maybe it can, yeah, nice. Oh, hold on, I'm curious. If I hold a direction. Oh, okay, it still works. So on the Game Boy Advance, if you hold a direction, you can change the palette at the beginning of the game. And if you press A or B, you can also have extra different kinds of palettes, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so here was the 151. We are officially getting rid of it. So this is Pokemon Red. So I'm just calling this guy a 1. And this guy, so let's see, all my rivals so far are no Dex and no Save. This guy is going to be no color. O-R. I mean, I guess it's pretty appropriate to just have, like, Pokemon Red with Charmander. Oh yeah, it's cool. Let me just, like, get a Japanese copy. It says trading between Japanese and non-Japanese games is not recommended in Gen 1 and 2 due to the different memory locations within RAM. It will result in the corruption of both save files. Okay, let's not do that then. That's it's probably good. So just like about trading, like every single game here has Rattatas, right? So I'm only going to evolve Rattata in one of those games, but I'm most likely going to catch... Sorry, I'm gonna evolve Rattata in one of the games, but I'm gonna catch a Rattata in all of them, so I can register Raticate one time, but Rattata I don't need to, like, trade between everything, because, like, you might as well just catch it.
Okay, here's something you only really notice when you like play the game again and you're just like, wait. When you talk to Nurse Joy, she says like, we heal your Pokemon back to perfect health, but only in the really early game. And I don't know what triggers this flag, but at some point, I think by the time you get to Pewter, she won't ask, should we heal your Pokemon as like a new line? It'll just give you the heal option right after we say we heal your Pokemon back to perfect health. Like, I guess they got rid of that one line just to make it convenient, but I don't know why it was there in the first place. Like, I feel like it's not really necessary.
Okay, so let's see. That is red. I will now do blue.
You know, I remember my friend and I, we had this whole phase through high school where we tried working with like making Pokemon hacks. I did like a whole series on my channel where we like raced through the first one that we made all those years ago, and it was like kind of poorly made, but like we like it. There was one change that like I basically knew I had to make right away, and then as soon as you speak to any Nurse Joy, she just says, welcome, heal. Like literally just two lines, welcome, heal. Okay, so let's see. We had no dex, no save, no color, no views. That's what sucks about some streams. You just get no views. That's my rival. I feel like one of them has to be called like no luck, because at some point you're just gonna have to rely on so much luck to catch and find stuff, so no luck. This technically means that in some way, shape, or form, I now have all 3 starters. For Gen 1, anyway. Yo, don't be dissing my boy Bulbasaur. He's quality about Bulbasaur. I'm gonna die again. Unless I crit, I'm gonna die again. Yeah. You know, actually, something a little concerning that I might need to make sure that everything's good about is, first of all, I hope that these cartridge batteries don't get messed up, because I don't want to have to redo a save file, as much fun as that sounds. So I'm trying to think of like the timeline of events about like which cartridges I had, since I might as well just talk about that. I had Red. Like, Red was the first game that I got, because I was doing it a lot on emulator, and I'm just like, oh, it'd be cool to like have a physical cartridge. Same thing for Crystal. It was the second game. I think the second Pokemon game that I had, period. But I could be wrong about that, because I did actually own Y when it came out. Then at some point I was at like one of those like old game stores, and Silver, the cartridge actually doesn't have a label. It's like kind of like, it's like it must have been torn off at some point, so it's just an empty cartridge looking thing. But it works totally fine, and it was on cheap, so I decided, you know what, I'll just get it. Those 3 were there for a while. Last year in the summer, I got like the blue cartridge, and then that's when I decided to do like the Gen 1 challenge, just like on my own. Then later, since I already had Silver and Crystal, and I had 2 Gen 1s, I could complete an entire Gen 1 and 2 challenge. And then I'm like, hey, I should turn this into like a bigger thing. So I bought Pokemon Gold, and then eventually Yellow recently. So yeah, so that's the timeline of all my cartridges. So I guess Yellow we saw has a decent like save, so we can work with that. Silver should be fine. Like it's been fine for a long time. Gold, I'll have to check. I can just replace the battery. I could probably just replace it right now if I see there's a problem. I do actually. So they're all the batteries are like those circular 3-volt type batteries. I don't know if I have the exact one that it states. Like,
like it states in the cartridge. But it turns out that like apparently the only difference between all those 3-volt batteries are just like the sizes. Yeah, so as long as I could just physically fit one of the cartridges or one of the batteries in the cartridge, there should be no problem. This thing is so annoying. Maybe I'll put it in on the other side of the tilt. Nope. Okay, straight in's not working. That's what the left side tilt looks like. Right side tilt looks about the same as the full through. I might be here for a little bit. This isn't really a problem with the save file or anything. This is just the game showing its age. Oh, I almost got a Nintendo. I got less of a Nintendo that time. I got more of a Nintendo that time. What happens if I just shove it all the way in, like really fast? Like, that's what happens. Okay. Okay, not very effective. Oh. Okay. I only pushed it in just a little bit, like just enough to make it work. Apparently, that's what it was asking for this time. Destroy it. I'm gonna go with 6. Okay, so I'm going to make silver 8 hours ahead. So it's currently just about 9:58. So that means we're gonna do it 3 in the morning, or I guess 3:58. So I mean, if it's 8 hours ahead, I'm just gonna say Monday, not daylight savings time. Can you explain to me like I'm 5? Well, I'll read the instructions. Okay, good for you, Mom. Yeah, you know what I'll do, Chikorita. I'll do Cyndaquil in gold. Oh, look at that. It's already turning morning time in the game. You know what's weird about this cutscene is that, like, for some reason, they changed, like, a very slight detail in the remakes. And, like, I don't really know why. I don't even know why I'm really talking about this. So you talk to Mr. Pokemon here. He gives you the egg. And then he kind of mentions, like, Oak here. He's like, oh, even Professor Oak here recognizes that. In the remakes, he heals you here, and then Oak talks to you. But in the originals, Oak talks to you first, and then Professor Elm Mr. Pokemon heals you. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why they specifically changed the script. I don't know what's up with that. Oh yeah, shit, Razor Leaf at level 8. That's really good. I mean, you say you wonder, like you're not a part of this community. Like I'm very ashamed of you. Alright, well, this rival is no work because I don't want the cartridge to no work no more. Because that'd be a shame. We just got one more file, and it's the gold file that I hope actually can hold a save. Hey, it didn't not work. That's awesome. Okay, well, it can clearly hold the save. I'm actually just curious. What does this person have? Lil Nicky. Okay. Couldn't complete that with a straight face. Hey, you picked the frame this time. The chain link one. You mean like that one here? Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's like the first one I picked when I was deciding on frames. Like I guess the first time I made a save file. Okay, so let's see. I'm making this one 8 hours behind. So if it is currently 10:13, it will be 2:13. Not 2 in the morning, 2 o'clock. Alright, this guy is 4. Okay. Oh my god, this time I pressed yes, and of course she tells me the instructions anyway. Alright, one last journey to Mr. Pokemon's house. And then we'll call it a day. And I can't wait to, like, awkwardly spam, like, a ton of trades. Just, like... Actually, in Generation 1, I guess they didn't really know how to close the trade that well. So, once you're in, like, once you go to the trade room in Gen 1, there's, like, a little, like, room where you trade. You can't get out. You literally have to reset the game. And in fact, the save option in the pause menu now says reset. So, like, they anticipated that you'd be stuck here. But it's still really weird. Like, I don't know why they couldn't just give you an out. Yeah, look, I mean, it's so easy to find something wrong with Gen 1. The game is, like, already saved with the Pokemon you want. What's the issue with just, like, reloading the last map you were on? I don't... like, resetting implies that the game already saves you at that map, because once you reset, you're back in front of the Pokemon Center person. Maybe they just couldn't fit one more door to get you back to the Pokemon Center. Like, they just couldn't fit that in, so like, alright, let's just reset the game. You know, you're right. I think that, like, the moment they decided to, like, be fancy and, you know, add, like, an option not to have to reset your entire game, you know, only the most lavish things in existence, then the game would have broken down. Like, the games went to market now, like, they are some of the best games put together in comparison to what it would have been like if they added that one door. Guess who forgot to equip the berry now that I'm at the rival fight? Speaking of which, I'm actually just gonna use it right now. Might as well. Like, oh no, oh, I get healed. Oh, okay. You know, he's actually kind of a nice guy. You know, he he heals you. He might have, like, kicked me in the ass when I was, like, just asking him how his day was right here when he was in that little corner. But he's a nice guy deep down. No heal. Okay, you know, that's actually pretty good. No heal. Alright, moment of truth. I am going to just quickly reset. It should hold to save, like, there's no reason why it shouldn't. But I'm just gonna be, you know. That's good. I think that's gonna do it today.
Wait, who's the yellow hat guy? I don't have a yellow hat. I have like a reddish hat, kind of. Oh, no, actually, you're right. Okay, if you're talking about, like, the concept art, then yeah. Oh, that's true. That's fair.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Well, I haven't played Splatoon, except for played a little bit of the first game, but, like, I don't think I ever actually did a match. And now it's just kind of, like, sitting on my... But, by the way, I feel like I asked you this once, but I forget. Did you have them commissioned, or did you make them yourself? Like, the art? I see a lot of, like, artists on Twitter, and a lot of them not only just talk about, like, actual art pieces, but they're also, like, I can, like, you could commission me for, like, a bunch of Twitch emotes. Okay, I'm just gonna grab something to eat, because I have work tomorrow, but it's also pretty late, so I don't really care about staying up that late or anything. See you later, man. Nice to have you here.